Hello and welcome to episode 7 of Millenium 2.2. This is going to be a short video. We're going to look at the music that Whitaker had on this, and we're also going to have a quick recap of the story from Millenium 2.2 in the player's guide, and basically just to let you know the next episode, which is episode 8, ignore the first 20 seconds where I say I got the last 3 videos in the wrong order. Basically what had happened was I recorded video 5 and I think the first take was 20 seconds and it just didn't go right. So I made a second video and then realized it was still video 5. So ignore the next episode in video 8 where I talk about the previous episodes being wrong. That's incorrect. That's why I'm making this video, which is actually after episode 10, but never mind. This is video 7. So we're going to have a quick recap of the story in the player's guide. So there is evidence of high concentrations of iridium scattered all over the Earth's sediment rock. So we're going back to the beginning. Just imagine this was before we started the whole Millennium series. Dated at some 65 million years old. One interpretation is that the planet was hit by a mass of 13 trillion tons. Such an event would have thrown enough dust into the atmosphere to block our sunlight for up to 5 years, killing almost all plant cover and most of this cold-blooded reptiles in existence at the time. This annihilation is from the unique. Many smaller scale extinctions have occurred during the history of life on Earth, also coinciding with impact events. The Earth's crust is pitted with remains of impact craters, but slowly worn down by erosion into almost significant blemishes. In 1908, the Tungus object exploded before impact, torn apart by Earth's gravity in 1947. The Silcote-Allen object made 106 craters, some over 28 miles in diameter. Although these are recent events and minor ones at that, they are hardly rarities. On average, the Earth can expect a major impact event every 170,000 years. Some people would therefore say that we have been a little fortunate to have lasted over 700,000 years without such an impact. One thing is for certain, with so many asteroids in orbit between Mars and Jupiter, sooner or later another major event will occur, and at present we neither have the ability nor the will to produce the availability to avert such a disaster. September 2200 AD. Every available telescope, orbital and Earth base turned towards the constellation of Gemini to follow the incoming object. The commanders on Lunar Base 1 and to the outpost had been ordered to divert all attention to correlating Earth observations. Mathematicians coolly calculated and sieved through the ocean of information pouring in from all sources. Every department has usual keeping strict records of the object's approach for the history books, but everyone involved knew it would probably be the last chapter. Its mass, they estimated, was more than 20 trillion tons, composed mainly of ice. Velocity and trajectory placed Earth into the direct line 17.4 hours. Point of impact was hard to estimate, but the worst possible was expected somewhere in the North Pacific Ocean. The only practical attempt to change the object course had been futile. A small fast shuttle had rendezvoused, placed a massive nuclear charge and run away before detonation. The required shift was 10,000 miles if the object was to miss without causing damage. The result was not even measured by an observation on Earth. Nothing more could be done. Every nuclear warhead had been programmed for specific targets on enemy territory, most less than 10,000 miles away, and all stationary. To reprogram so many would take more time than was available, and to expect them to reach a moving target was ridiculous. Even if it could have been achieved and all warheads had struck the object, the results would have been worse. One object of 20 trillion tons smashed into 1,000 pieces would produce a shower of 20 million tons impact. Better it was decided to fight a monster than an army of giants. Every weapon of destruction upon which man had spent so much effort suddenly became dwarfed and insignificant. Earth braced itself. As commander of Lunar Base 1, you witnessed the event with an astonishing gaze. All predictions had been correct. The object plummeted to Earth and punched a hole straight through the Pacific, throwing millions of gallons of water vapor into the atmosphere. Like a bullet through glass, the object's velocity was unaffected and smashed into Earth's crust, cracking it wide open. With the object life now over, the planet's reaction was devastating. The underlying magma core, now untethered, ran wild over what used to be the seabed and sputtered out thousands of tons of molten rock behind a stream of superheated steam. As the remaining ocean flooded into fill the hole, it vaporized instantly with immense heat. It seemed an unstoppable process. Shockwaves ran across the planet and Earth rang like a bell. Vast earthquake split even more of the crust, adding yet more dust and steam all over the globe. Winds raged themselves up to the frenzy, carrying great plumes of debris out into space across the surface. Slowly but surely, the blue-grey disk turned darker and darker. Life ebbed away, and civilization ceased to exist. As far as you were concerned, Lunar Base 1 was all that remained of the human race and the culture. They realized your base must change from a minor research station in order to support the survival of mankind. Terraforming changes other planets into Earth-like places was still in the infancy. It now seemed that the process would have to be used to Earth itself. You also know that the resources of the moon were not sufficient to achieve reconciliation of Earth. Other planets would have to be conquered first to gather enough material for terraforming and immediate survival of your race. So that's how the story began many episodes ago. And then you have brief instructions on the controls and the moon base, and if you have loading difficulties, you got to call Activision, Manor Farm Road, Reading. So they lived in a manor, and then you have various different languages. And that's pretty much it for the manual. So let's get the music on. Switch on. Let's have a quick look at the back of the box. These are the pictures you got. So that's the mining station on the top, and here's the beautiful music by Whitaker. Sorry about it. Let's just get this camera sorted. Very nice. See you for the next episode. Bye now.